Going on, everyone? Welcome, Rabid here, and today we're going to be looking at a miner that's been doing nothing but losing me a lot of money, pretty much putting you on the urge of bankruptcy. Maybe not that bad, but it's pretty darn bad. It's not this guy. This is the little brother of it. This is a KS1. I'm sure you know what I'm referring to at this point, a Kaspa miner. The KS5L is the miner I am referring to, and it's just bad. So what do we know about Kaspa so far? Yes, it's got KRC20 tokens. Nobody seems to care. Smart contracts are coming. Nobody will probably seem to care either at that point, but we'll see what happens. The block reward drops every single month. There's too much hash rate based on it, and the price continues to drop, down to nothing all the time. We get the odd pump, but obviously for the network hash rate and the price and the block rewards, all that together, you are not making anything unless you got free power. Even with free power, you're still not even making that much when it comes to Kaspa mining. So it kind of sucks here. We got the 10 blocks per second. Awesome, nice fast network, but that keeps transaction fees down. So if it ever does get busy, which it isn't anymore, then ultimately you're not even going to get the transaction fees, because the whole point of the faster blockchain is not to speed up the chain. Confirmations and everything is still exactly the same time. It's all based on 1 second. All that is for lower transaction fees. So as miners, we're not even going to see, we could see, some increased fees, but we're not going to see any major fee increases on busy network times, if they ever get busy again. Now, I don't know about you guys. I do not mine at losses. I don't care what coin it is. I don't mine at a loss. You're better off buying the coin. If you are mining at a loss, you get more coins for the same amount of power that you are paying for. So it makes zero sense. And I do not support networks when it comes to crypto mining. I only go to where the profit is. And right now, there is zero profit in Kaspa mining, and it's been that way for quite some time. All right, guys, so let's take a look at this KS5L. But I just want to point out, yesterday I did get 8 or maybe 9 teeth pulled, and I started recording this video a few days ago, so now I'm just continuing on with it. But the top 4 in the front are gone, and it's really hard to talk right now. So if I sound weird or something, that's why. But you know what, the show must go on. So let's take a look at the KS5L and what am I going to do with it. Just got a payment, so it is a perfect time to turn this thing off. But I just want to point out, I got this thing hosted. The only way I was able to keep this thing even running for as long as I am right now, and we're at a loss here, which is bad, but was courtesy of Metered Mining. They offer cheaper hosting for, it looks like, GPUs at 9 cents per kilowatt hour, and ASIC hosting is only 8 cents. I will have a link down in the description there for you guys to, schedule a call if you want to look for cheaper power sources. Obviously, for most of us with residential power, especially in Europe and stuff, it costs too much for us just to mine cryptocurrencies these days. So we need, our friends at Metered Mining to help host products for us at much cheaper power prices. In the past month, it's mined 1,547 Kaspa coins. If this hits $1, $1,500 would be awesome. We're nowhere near that though, but that's only at the current price, $131. Now this is also solo mining. It seems to be better solo mining than pool mining. Maybe I'll swap it back to the pool for a couple days for one more payout just to see, but I've been averaging around the same amount of coins per 24 hours, so we'll see what happens here. But solo mining seems to be pretty good with the speed up in the blockchain, as well as obviously a lot of hash rate dropped off, which we will look at. But it's costing me $190 to $200 a month to run this miner, and it's only making $131 or less. They're a little bit more, but it hasn't broke even for probably a good 4 or 5, maybe 6 months at this point. So it's pretty sad. And I purchased this thing at a pretty decent price at the time for $4,000 when they're going for about $4,500. And then a week after I got it, the price dropped down 50% to like 2,000. So I really got nailed on this miner, and it sucks. And it hasn't even, like, how much we've only mined total $1,865 at the current price, and it's not even 50% ROI based on the price that I got it from yet. So it peaked over here around 1.48 exahash, and we can see right now we're only sitting at about 562 petahash. So it's lost over half of its freaking network in hash rate. That means half the hardware, well, it doesn't mean half the miners are gone, because Mara is probably the majority miner here, and as we know, they're just dumping it for Bitcoin. So that's not helping Kaspa at all. So most of the mining hardware is gone. Well, at least over half of it is shut off and gone. And the majority of it seemed to happen last month. It looks like around June 2nd, we had 1.08 exahash, and it's dropped almost half of that and slightly under 578 petahash here. But the big drop off happened within the last month or so. So if you're wondering why maybe some of your yields have gone up, it's actually because a huge hash rate has lost. But also, we have the block reductions happening every month and stuff as well. So that obviously hits as well. But we are seeing a lot of miners turn away from Kaspa, depending on the 30 terahash or 40 terahash version. We can see this is a $4,700 miner or pretty much a $6,100 miner with shipping and everything. And I will have links down in the description with discount codes and all that good stuff here for miner bros. But we can see here that obviously, these are pretty expensive for only making about $8 a day, almost $9. So the ROI factor is extremely long. It also comes down to what exactly is your power price also. So it's really up in the air on, is it worth mining Kaspa? There are definitely Kaspa maxis out there that are diehard Kaspa only. It's the only way you should go. But, it doesn't seem to be going in the right direction. Now, there's also rumors circulating that smart contracts, well, that's a thing. They're on the test net and stuff being tested. But once they hit mainnet, USDC, the stable coin by Circle, is going to be implementing it onto the Kaspa network, which could drive some adoption, which would be a very good thing. But at the same time, it's also going to come down to the exchanges. Are they going to reduce some of those confirmation times to actually make Kaspa fast? I can send Octa.Space and get there twice as fast as Kaspa does to a lot of the exchanges out there. And are we going to see larger exchanges ever adopt Kaspa as well? So there's also a huge limitation when it comes to exchanges, when it comes to Kaspa as well. Successfully moved over to, I guess, the PPLNS pool. I'm going to watch it and see. Remember, we're watching for yields, not the amount you make here. We care about the yields. So I'm going to see if we're going to go up or down over the next couple of days here, but I'm probably just going to go for one more payout and then ultimately shut this thing off. And then at the end of the day, because I'm paying the power bill all the time anyway, what I'm going to have to do, and it's going to get me more Kaspa, is I'm just going to have to buy Kaspa each month when the power bill is usually due. So instead of, only making $132 worth of Kaspa, I'll be buying like $190 to $200 worth. And hopefully Kaspa does something decent moving forward and then ultimately help the ROI of this much faster than mining at a loss. So yeah, that's my plan right now. I'm going to go for one more payout. I'm going to have to buy Kaspa instead of mining it to cover the cost of this miner until it's paid for, because I still have to pay for this miner myself, and it really sucks. So thank you for checking out this video. It does look like miners are slowly giving up on Kaspa. What are your guys' thoughts and opinions on Kaspa and mining it down in the comments section? I'll see you on the next one. Rabid out.